right, to start, find your seat. And as usual, I'm going to really encourage that you scoot towards the edge of your seat. And I'll show you here so as I turn, so that the glutes, the edge of the glutes where they meet your thigh, catches on the edge of your seat, and your whole rump fully supported in the pad of that chair. The thighs have some hanging room, the pads of the feet firmly planted. Now you can use blocks to lift the floor up, whatever you need. Take some time to explore, but find a grounded seat. Notice the full weight of the body relaxing through your glutes. Can you relax those butt cheeks just a little more? As you do, feel the body nestle in. Now allow your awareness to travel down into the pads of the feet as you relax the thighs, the calves, the ankles. Can you feel that gentle weight pressing down through the pads of your feet? Maybe you do, maybe you just imagine what that would feel like. Either way, you might close your eyes and just allow your mind's eye to travel down into the pads of your feet for a breath or two longer. Feel what's there without judgment, without expectation. There's no right or wrong answer. We just notice. It's the most important part, but we're not taught that. It's not about what you do. It's not about how you perform, the shapes that you make. Oh no. It's simply, can you be present with what is happening in your body? Can you witness it without judgment? And so as you feel the weight through the pads of the feet, you might now let the mind's eye travel up through the legs, through the pelvis, into the belly, that space behind the belly button. On your next deep breath, can you fill that space behind the belly? And then exhale, let it go. Nose, mouth, doesn't really matter. Another deep breath into this belly space. Really let it expand and fill. And then let that breath go messy. Let it make noise. Let the face expand. A few more breaths just like this, really filling this space, feeling the stretch with your mind's eye. And then staying present for the release on that exhale. As you exhale, can you really squeeze out all of the breath from behind that belly button? Let it all go. You can stay here, or you can allow your mind's eye to travel up into the space between the brows. Find your natural breath as you let your awareness arrive here. Maybe eyes open, maybe closed, just to draw the focus in. Relax the jaw, the tongue, the shoulders. Find an easy, natural breath and just notice the sensation that is this space of your third eye. Sometimes it feels pinchy, tingly. This isn't just a pressure point. This is where many muscles bundle and cross. Even more importantly, this is the point of our Ajna, our third eye, our sixth chakra. And our sixth chakra in yoga is said to be the point of wisdom. And it can be easy to be like, yeah, of course, it's our brain is wise, but not really. Not all of our brain is wise. Specifically, your frontal lobe contains what we consider the wisdom of the brain right here, specifically the medial prefrontal cortex. So in ancient yoga, when they're saying this is a place of wisdom, they couldn't even know how deep it went on a neuroscientific level, right? And here we are. So as you feel the space of your third eye, know that this is your evolved mind. This is where all of the lessons that you've learned in your life sit and live. This is where all of the generations of wisdom that live in your DNA, right, exist in that frontal lobe, and we touch base with it. We touch base with it to heal. Because every time your nervous system is dysregulated, every time you're in fight, flight, freeze, fawn, it's because our brain is not using our frontal lobe like it should. And so yoga teaches us to use our ajna, our third eye, to pause, to stop, to mindfully touch base with our wisdom, right? With our evolved mind, with our problem solving center, with our future forward thinking part of our brain and our body, our energy, and ask ourselves, do I want to mindfully take this next step? Or do I want to mindfully take this next action instead of just reacting with my nervous system? And when we touch base with our ajna, our sixth chakra, our nervous system goes from dysregulation, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, back into a state of embodiment, right? We find that it has more plasticity, more mobility as we move through life. And so our third eye, our frontal lobe, our sixth chakra is a beautiful, powerful place of wisdom. And the more that we bring awareness to this physical space, the more we're reminded to pause and use this energetic space. So, when you are ready, let's start some movement. On an exhale, we're going to take that ajna and slowly lower it down towards the earth. And then we're going to take the tailbone and begin to curl it up towards the ajna, the third eye. And you'll do this by pressing through the pads of your feet and rolling your tailbone up. I'll turn to the side so you can see here. Drop the forehead down, press in, curl up. The pelvic bowl tilts and the full low back rounds here. Now take a moment, we're rounding and lengthening the back body, so lengthening the muscles and the tissue of the neck and shoulders, especially here in the lumbar low spine. Beautiful. And then if you want to take it even further, you might extend this right leg out, press through the heel, flex the toes towards the heart so that we are extending through the back body on the right side as well. We continue to drop our third eye down towards the earth, almost like it's actively reaching for that tailbone as the tailbone reaches up. And then on an inhale, lower that leg, rise up. As you exhale, switch sides. Hold. Press through that heel, right? The more that we can intensely flex those toes back towards the heart, the deeper this back body stretches. So we're getting the whole back body from head to toe just in this seat. Never underestimate what's possible. On an inhale, rise up. Exhale, let's start a flow. Switch sides, curl in. You can use your hands to hold the thighs as an aid. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, switch. Each time we're tilting that pelvic bowl, lowering that third eye, and pressing through the heel of that extended foot. You might notice as you do this, as you kind of get a hang of this movement in your body, where you feel it. Allow the witness, your awareness, your third eye, your wisdom to travel through your body, to feel with each exhale where sensation arises. Maybe it's in the head, hips, belly. There's no wrong answer. We just witness and observe. On an inhale, rise up, stay here for a moment. We've stretched through the whole back body. Now let's get into that front body. This is where it's really nice to have no arms on your chair, but Explore this how feels good for you. This time, instead of lowering that third eye down, we're going to reach it skyward. And as the third eye lifts, so does the chin, so does the heart. The front body begins to lengthen. And then your pelvic bowl, instead of pressing through the feet and curling up, we're going to roll the belly forward, arch that low back. So we're rounding through the whole front body as we make length so that we can stretch the front side. And then to get in nice and deep, you might take this right or left leg and you sweep it off towards the side of your chair. If you're facing me, it looks like this. Scoot over to one side. You can step that right or left leg back as you arch and lift. Now, you might do this without the hands, or you might leave hands on the hips, pressing the hands down on the hips to bring even more length to the spine. And then beautiful release. I'm going to turn a little differently so you can see what this is like. Know that you can also use blocks if you'd like to plant that knee. I'm going to turn towards the right. Here's how you'd use a block, right? Instead of just reaching that opposite leg back, you can plant it on a block. And then here once more, we're tilting the pelvic bowl forward, lifting through the head and the heart on that inhale. You might like it just like this. You might further stretch that front body. See what we're doing? Top to bottom. By reaching that leg back, getting into this hip flexor. Beautiful. Bring it back in. Wonderful. Once more on either side, you can simply switch like I'm doing with the chair. This time, with the hands on the hips, before we lift the head and the heart, I want you to slide or play with, invite you to, slide the thumbs towards one another, planting the heels of the hands on your low back. Now, as we roll the belly forward and arch the low back, it can crunch the lumbar spine, and that doesn't feel good for a lot of folks. So taking the heels of the hands, we're going to press down on the low back, right? Down in that sacral area. As you roll the belly forward, lift through the head and the heart, and then we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together, squeeze those elbows together to further open the heart. And what you find here is that if you press the heels of those hands nice and firm into that low back and lift through the head and the heart, you might play with slowly leaning that heart center back. And as you lean the heart back, you're really pressing the heels of the hands in, right? Squeezing those elbows, taking your time here. And then on an exhale, curl it forward. We're going to extend this leg long, flex the toes towards the heart. Now, you might lift it, you might keep it rested, but slowly lower the forehead down. Find that curl in your spine. A nice counter posture. When you're ready, switch sides. Big heart opener. Hands on the hips. Slide those thumbs together, press the heels of the hands down, squeeze those elbows, and then roll that belly forward. Lift length through the head and the spine. Press those palms into that low back as you do. Find as much length in that front body as you would like. And then if it feels right, you might slowly lean that heart back as you press the heels of the hands down. All right, as much or as little, y'all. Everything is beautiful. We don't judge. We are the witness, right? We're the Ajna. We are our wisdom. Our wisdom doesn't judge us. Our wisdom just observes, loves, and offers wisdom, right? Rise up when you're ready. Extend that left leg out, planting the heel or not. And then slowly curl the spine in, curl that tailbone in, counter posture. Beautiful. Rise up when you're ready. That was already a lot, y'all. Big, beautiful movements today. We are going to do a seated sun salutation flow. But first, I want to love a little more on the neck and shoulders before we do that. So, pressing down through the feet and the seat, feeling that foundation. Lift tall through the spine. And then imagine there's a little pencil sticking out the top of your head. We're going to start drawing little baseball-sized circles in the sky. Keeping the shoulders stationary. They're really melting down towards the earth so that the neck is nice and long here as you draw these little circles. And then take a moment as the witness, invite that witness down to notice as you draw these little circles, can you slow it down and feel the shifting of the weight of your head on your neck? Can you feel the muscles around the neck and the shoulders gently engaged to support the head as you draw these little circles? And if you're not sure, if you're like, maybe I feel that, beautiful. You might just imagine it. And then if you would like, start drawing those circles even bigger and bigger. You might notice, now that these circles are nice and big, how much of that stretch you can feel through the neck and the shoulders. You might notice how heavy the head feels now with these big, slow circles. Be present with sensation. Breathe deep into that space behind the belly button. And then when you're ready, pause and switch directions. Taking it nice and slow. You might hang out in any sticky bits. Ooh. Trust yourself. There is no mission here. There is no end goal, but to be present with yourself in your body, experiencing what you're experiencing. So if that is what you're doing, 10 out of 10. And if you're rumbling with it and you're working on it, 10 out of 10. And if you're not sure about it yet and you're just here trying to figure out what's for you and what's not, 10 out of 10. Keep up the good work, y'all. When you're ready, rise up tall. Just note sensation as those shoulders relax once more. And then let's get ready for our sun salutations. Because there's a forward fold, you might grab blocks or place an ottoman in front of you. Planting firmly through the pads of the feet, making enough space between the thighs for your beautiful belly. On an inhale, sweep those arms up and out. As you exhale, we're going to take a forward fold, planting the hands on top of the thighs, maybe down on blocks, letting them hang. Pause, take a moment to decide what feels good for you. Can you relax the heart and the belly down into this space to really get this stretch in the low back? And then on an inhale, we're going to rise up to flat back. So just straightening from tailbone through the top of the head. And then we're going to use the palms of the hands, pressing them into the shins to sneak an extra 1/4 inch or so through the length of our spine, right? Any length we can sneak in there, we do. And then on your next exhale, melt back down into your fold. Hang out here. Bring your mind's awareness once more to the pads of the feet. Feel your legs engage as you press down. And then on an inhale, use that engagement to rise up tall, sweeping the arms out. From here, chaturanga, extend the legs out long. Now, rotator cuffs don't always love this, so I want to invite you. You can have the arms in Anjali Mudra. You can keep them teed out wide. Be where you want to be, but find your plank. I'm going to show you from here a different angle. So from here, we lean the heart center back. Slow. Go slow. Oh, yeah. The body is going to want to shake. And instead of fighting it and clenching it and feeling shame for whatever modern society has told you about fitness, throw that away. It's wrong. This is extra energy, excess energy, living in places in the body where you clench it all the time, right? IBS, tummy issues, anxiety lives in our muscles, lives in the body. And through the shaking, we begin to release some of that chronic patterns of tension. On an inhale, rise up tall. From here, we're going to find our back arched once more for cobra. And I really sweep the arms back behind me to help open through the heart center. You might instead put hands on your waist and squeeze those elbows back. Either way, we're lifting length through the spine. Again, opening up through that front body like we know. Another breath or two in. With each inhale, the heart opens as those elbows or as the shoulder blades squeeze back. And then on an exhale, downward dog. We lean forward into this V shape. So with plank, when we're leaning back, we're engaging the muscles of the front body. With downward dog, we lean forward, we engage the muscles of the back body. So take some time, breathe and be. Press through the feet as you extend through the arms and the top of the head. And then on your next deep breath in, rise up, bend the knees, palms towards the heart center, Tadasana. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, sneak that inch in. And on an exhale, melt. Press through the feet. As you breathe in, rise up. Find your plank. Take it nice and slow. Lean back. Let the jaw relax. Invite the shaking. Right? Make noise. Every time we vibrate those vocal cords, we stimulate the vagal nerves. On your next inhale, find your cobra, arch the back. Exhale, down dog. Engage that back body. Breathe and hold. Deep into the belly, that space behind the belly button, fill it up. And then inhale, lift tall. Beautiful. From here, one more big stretch. We're going to sweep that left knee or that right knee out towards the right. And once more, find our big heart opener. So you might plant that left knee on a block or ground. You might extend that leg behind you. Either way, hands on the hips, slide those thumbs together, squeeze the elbows, press the palms down into that low back as you lift. We remember this. Be here. And you might enjoy this, right? Maybe, excuse me, block. Maybe this is what you're enjoying. Maybe the legs aren't coming into play at all here today. You do you. Now keep in mind, if we're not getting into those legs, you might lean back, grab the back of the seat, and then use that to further arch the low back. There are a lot of things that we can be doing here to open up the front body in a seat. And all we have to do is become aware that all of this movement is available to us. And once you know that wisdom, it's there for you to check in with anytime you like. When you're ready, rise up, unravel, switch sides, take your time. Melt into whatever version, hello B, your body says yes to. Continual length. We breathe into the spine with each inhale. Opening up the heart, opening up this beautiful place of wisdom of our third eye to receive, to witness, to be present. When you're ready, rise up tall. Beautiful. Come back into a neutral seat. Let's cool it on down with some big old twists. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. As you exhale, left hand to right knee. Right hand might brace the chair or wall behind you, or even your low back. You'll anchor your hands to turn the heart center, right? So the hips, knees stay stationary, and the anchor turns from the solar plexus. And then once the heart's there, the neck follows, looking over that back shoulder. And then allow the witness to become present, right? Your third eye to open up. And notice in your body, what does it feel like in your belly and your heart each time you take a deep breath? Can you feel with each inhale the muscles stretch, the rib cage expand? Can you feel with each exhale the space you're making in the body? Let the jaw remain soft as you just witness this. The more we practice in these controlled environments, witnessing things like sensations, movements, patterns that we're choosing, the more we're able to witness those things that we're not in control of, right? In real life, release when you're ready. Ooh, wiggle it out. Love on the spine. Give yourself a little love. And then when you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Switch sides on that exhale. Anchor and turn. Then let the head follow. Come back to the sensation of the breath. Feel it in and out. How does this twist change how your breath feels? The wisdom of awareness is so deeply healing. Life keeps us so distracted, dissociated, out of touch, and disconnected with ourselves. And so we take this time to pause and intentionally cultivate the relationship with self. Release when you're ready. Let's take just a minute of Shavasana to relax, let it all go, and integrate what we've learned. Now, sometimes I like to take a block. Let everything melt. Let it be messy. It doesn't matter what you look like. Become a puddle. Let every muscle in your body release. With each exhale, they soften. From the third eye center, melting and releasing down to the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, the belly, the thighs. Let the softness trickle down through the ankles and toes. As you breathe into your body, be here. Feel the sensation of your breath as you inhale, the body stretches. Exhale, the body softens. As you observe this, remember that you are the witness. And that as life flows through you, as you move about your day, as you close your yoga practice, next comes living the yoga life. And what that means is choosing to be the witness in every opportunity, to observe without judgment instead of react. As you move through your day, remember that the light and the dark in me sees the light and the dark in you, and we are the same. When you're ready, reawaken your body at a pace that feels good for you. Bring a stretch, a curl, a twist, a shift, and exploration. Let it be messy. Thank yourself for showing up. Ooh, you did it. Even maybe when you don't want to, you show up.